Alright guys, man, we got a YouTuber by the name of NazUFC, man. He dropped a video saying that UFC has a big problem, so guys, we are going to go ahead and check it out. But before we go ahead and do it, man, like the video, subscribe, like NazUFC's video, and subscribe to his channel. But before we also get into this bitch, I have to say something, man. NazUFC, rent is due. It's time that you go ahead and give me that one-on-one I've been looking for, man. I've been studying your game. I've been trying to get into your live streams and fight you, man. For some reason, I just can't get you. So, hopefully this video reaches to you some way, somehow. I want that fight. I want it. But that's another story for another day. Let's go ahead and see what the big problem is. I should have rolled up a blunt. Well, man, it is what it is.
Yo, what's up guys, NazUFC. Welcome back to another video. So, I've done a video like this before. I'm doing it again, so I'm basically going to share my thoughts on the current state of EA Sports UFC 5. I'm also going to show you guys 3 major exploits which are being abused, and you wouldn't even know that it's being used on you. That's how broken and overpowered they are. And I hope this video will do one or two things when I show you those exploits. One, I hope it creates chaos so people use them. Two, I hope it raises awareness, especially to EA Sports, so they can get it patched. So that's basically my objective, showing those exploits. I'm also going to talk about, you know, the current state of the game. You know, is it shit? Is it good? What's wrong with it? What's good with it?
Man, the current state of the game to me before NazUFC gives his input of the game, man. Oh my gosh, man, guys. I've been really thinking about, like, what route do I want to go with this channel? Like, I love doing combat sports. I like getting into this type of thing because, number one, it's something that everyone around the world, we all can just fathom. You know, if I were to talk about football or NBA, you know, maybe people from outside of the country may not really fathom with it. So UFC, it brings a worldwide connection. Motherfuckers from Brazil, motherfuckers from the United States, motherfuckers from the UK, motherfuckers from Russia, motherfuckers from everywhere, Poland, Sweden, you name it. It all brings us in one group. That's why I really like these combat sports, especially UFC in particular. But man, guys, numbers talk, bullshit walks, man. My numbers on the UFC games has not been really showing much. But if I were to get to these other games, it shows. And it's not that it's the combat sports community fault. It's UFC, it's EA Sports fault, I mean. They're not managing their game right. They're not making it a good experiencing game, you know?
Right, so first of all guys, I'll give EA their props first before I shit on them. You know, the Prime alter egos are a W, the Pride alter egos are a W.
Fuck that shit.
New fighters they're adding are good. You know, there could be better fighters. There's a few more unranked fighters that aren't in the game. You know, Ian Gary's about to fight GF Neal on the weekend. And you know, GF Neal's been around a lot longer and he's not been put in the game yet. So, yeah, I guess I could say fair play to EA. Good on them for that part, but that's just the content side of the game. You know, that's all fun and games, but you know, we're still crying about the gameplay, right? And one issue about the game that we've been crying for about a long time now since the beta. You probably know what I'm gonna say. Stamina, you know.
Oh man, I thought that shit was fixed. Oh my gosh, I was just playing UFC today, guys. The new season. I forgot what, season 4. Oh man, I'm working that body. Knee, jab to the body, another right hand to the body, you know what I'm saying? Hook to the body, uppercut to the body, everything you can think of to the body. I started even doing switch kicks to the body. This guy has abs of steel. Stamina not even going down.
Stamina is still a big issue, guys, and I don't get why EA Sports are struggling to solve this issue. You know, I know they said it's a sensitive place to work with, but you know, we've had how many patches now? I believe we've had about 4 patches since the beta, right? 4 patches which stamina's been, you know, adjusted, and bro, stamina's still too much. It still needs to be nerfed, right? And I'm not talking about just a normal EA Sports type of nerf now, because I know how they nerf shit. It needs to be nerfed. Right? That means they've got to stop playing the same.
You heard how you said nerfed? It needs to be nerfed.
And I I'm not talking about just a normal EA Sports type of nerf now, because I know how they nerf shit. It needs to be nerfed, right? And that means
And that's how you know this shit needs to be nerfed for real, bro. That stamina shit is broken.
they've got to stop playing it safe, because that's what they do. They play it safe, they change a few numbers and they call it a day, and they let us test it for a month. And they need to... I suggested this on X. I said, how do you become a patch tester where you can actually test the patch that EA Sports have come up with before they actually release it to the public? And like people like Marshall Mine Romero said, you know, they've been asking for years and, you know, still no luck. So EA Sports don't even test their own patch. They just change a few numbers and drop it. So my idea is, when EA Sports do these patches, they should go the extra mile. They should do, you know, they should change those numbers, whatever they're changing. I don't know programming by a lot, right? And overdo it. And then us as a gaming community, we can say, okay, now it's good. Or if we don't like it, we can get it trimmed or reverted back to the original. That's how it should work. We shouldn't have to keep saying, do more, do a little bit more, do a little bit more. You know, they should do a lot more, and then we should be asking for it to go back, you know, slightly or completely. And that's how I think they should be updating their games, right? So next, guys, next I'm going to talk about a thing called meta thrashing, and it's the approach I also want EA Sports to take, right? It's a thing a lot of other games do, you know. If you don't know what meta thrashing is, it's basically where the devs of a game will make big changes in order to change the meta completely. A prime example, you know, is a game called Rainbow Six Siege. I played Rainbow Six Siege. I know it's not a fighting game, right, but you can sort of compare it, right? So one thing the devs do is they look out for like these little small trends, right? They'll ask themselves, what operators get used the most, what weapons get used the most, and if there's a certain weapon that's getting used the most, then they might nerf that weapon, right? Or they might make another weapon more powerful to make players have more options, if that makes sense, right? And that's what they kind of need to do.
Yeah, same thing with Call of Duty, you know, like at one moment in Call of Duty, the DMR, if you guys know what Call of Duty Warzone is, I'm pretty sure you guys know what Call of Duty Warzone is. I ain't gotta explain that shit to you. But at a certain point, the DMR, the marksman rifle, was one of the strongest guns in the game. And then Call of Duty got caught onto that, nerfed it up. Now all of a sudden, the LMGs are the new meta of the game. Nerf that up. Now all of a sudden, the riot shield might be the meta of the game. But they made it interesting to where, okay, you want to play this shit and you want to try out the metas. And they made multiple metas. There's not only one meta. If you want a sniper meta class, you had it. If you want this meta class, you had it. So this is what I feel like they need to make a change to. Like, make more metas.
At the moment, everyone's headhunting. No one's attacking the body. Everyone's just punching that head in. They're block breaking. They're not kicking the legs. They're not hitting the body. So EA Sports, maybe they can decrease body health, because right now it's a lot. I tried to throw the sink at the body. Nothing happens. I tried to kick my opponent's leg health off. It's hard kicking one leg, right? But sometimes if you're able to, if you're playing against a noob, sometimes you might get their leg health low. But, you know, if they're smart, they can just switch stance, and now you've got a, you know...
Got a whole nother fucking leg to beat. And keep in mind, it took you 2 rounds and 30 leg kicks just to smash one leg in. Now you have to take damn near 1 minute left in the second round and the rest of the third round to try to knock this other leg out. By the time you do that, and keep in mind, if your opponent hasn't stunned you yet, you know, it puts you in a vulnerable state no matter how much leg kicks you do. And the judges don't score leg kicks on UFC 5. So you can throw 1,000,000 leg kicks. As long as you do 1 stun, that 1,000,000 leg kicks doesn't mean shit.
Take their other leg out, which is extremely difficult. I know Romero struggled to get a leg kick TKO for a video once. So if high-level players like myself, not to brag, are struggling, then imagine new players, or, you know, players that are in lower divisions. They must struggle to bits, especially if they're like kickboxers in real life. I know a kickboxer, Samurai Robin, right? He likes to kickbox and he likes to replicate his real life fighting style into this game. And he throws a lot of leg kicks in real life, and, you know, it must suck for him how hard it is to, you know, leg kick TKOs. It's a lot harder than the previous games, I have to say. Another thing they could do is change the input to check leg kicks, because right now it's the same input. It's the same input as blocking your body, and I feel like most of the time when people block their body, they don't mean to check leg kicks. They're kind of just getting lucky. So if they can change that input, that will be kind of cool too. Will make the game a bit more technical. And yeah, I don't know why, but in the most recent patch, or maybe the one before it, they decreased body punch damage for some reason. No one asked for that. That was just EA being EA. I don't know who asked for that. And, you know, it was just out the blue. And it was, at that time, body damage work was bad already. It was already poor, so I've got no clue why they did that. Right, cool guys, so let's move on to the exploits. So on the left here, we've got Khamzat Chimaev. On the right, we've got Duplessis. And he's got me in the tie clinch position. And I've instructed my friend to just spam elbows in this position, right? And the second Duplessis breaks out, Khamzat will land an elbow.
Oh my gosh, I hate that shit, bro. I don't understand why UFC have this in the game. Like, I'm breaking out of this shit. There's no way that this guy can ricochet a punch and all of a sudden I'm stunned and he can just block break and win.
If it hits your face or not, it always lands. And it does damage for some reason.
A lot of damage.
And obviously elbows do cuts, you know, and cuts lead to doctor stoppages, and it's what a lot of players have been spamming. You know,
yeah, I've been one of those guys. I'm not gonna lie.
But a lot of people are starting to do it on PlayStation now, and I want it to be patched as soon as possible. That's the whole point of this video. I'm gonna play it here, guys, so you guys can see it for yourself.
Look at this bullshit.
Look,
you see that?
My objective is to try avoid it. My opponent's clinching me, and I'm trying to stop it at all costs. I'm gonna go back a little bit. So he's doing it here. He's spamming me. It lands, right? I'm doing everything to stop it, guys. This is the whole point of this video. I was trying to stop him from hitting me. I was, you know, playing around with the timing. I even did this thing where I was able to slowly move back, right, 2 steps. If you move 3 steps, the clinch breaks. And so I was moving 2 steps until I got to the fence. I can get on the fence, and obviously I could defend there. But then my friend realised he could just turn me when I got near the fence to stop me from putting my back against the fence. So it just proves to you it is a broken exploit. It can be spammed. Right, cool guys, so that was the first exploit. I'm now going to show you guys the second one. I'm going to show you guys a submission which can't be defended. So Duplessis is going to put Khamzat in a dash choke, and then he's going to submit him. And there's nothing the other player can do to defend this choke. And I'm going to show you how it's done. So Duplessis is going to go for the dash choke, right? And I'll tell you. I've
never seen this before.
Right? So there's his transition option, right? There's a dash.
Oh, I love this. And then I transition a back flat. Once I transition to that back flat, I get the rear naked from the neck, especially if I have Aljo. Ooh, I like this move a lot.
He's gonna hit the right.
Well, what's the spam here?
First, right, which creates that struggle animation. But for some reason, that struggle bumper button first option, right? There's a dash. He's gonna hit the right bumper button first.
The right bumper
right, which creates that struggle animation. But for some reason, that struggle animation lasts for a few seconds. So he's gonna hold it, then he's gonna move the right stick up to initiate the dash choke, and that transition will be loading, right, whilst that struggle animation is happening. And I'll play it here so you guys know what I mean. Look. Oh, actually I'll go back. Whenever my screen goes fuzzy, I need to go back, guys. It's just weird. So he goes for the dash choke, right? Then he does the struggle button first, then he goes for it. See how nothing's happening until that last second?
Wow.
See that? And another thing to look out for, guys. The game tells me when to hit denial. Look how late it tells me. Right at the end. That's way too late. So that's an exploit that players are using. It was used against me. It was used against streamers that I was watching the other day. Young Poe, he was streaming. He got put in that submission and he lost. So look, he's going to do it again. Or he's going to try to. Oh, he actually failed that one. He didn't do it right. But there you go. You see that? The option for the denial shows up so late. I actually hit the denial there, but that's because I'm obviously cheating. But in an online match, you're not going to know what hit you. Do you know what I mean? It's that quick. When there's latency, it's going to suck. But There it is, guys. That's the second exploit. That's probably going to be the most broken one from this video. That's the one that should be patched ASAP.
I mean, that one doesn't seem too bad, but then again, I've never got put in that position. Now, if somebody puts me in that position, it will get real wicked real quick. I will say, though.
I would report this in the EA Sports Discord, but for some reason, Hasty Dave banned me, so I can't report it there. So the best I could do is make a video on it. Alright, cool, guys. So the third exploit's actually been around for about 6-7 years. It's been there since UFC 3, so I don't know why it's taken this long for this one to be fixed, but I'm going to raise awareness to it anyways. So let's just say you're DDP, right? You've just knocked Khamzat down, so obviously you're naturally going to want to dive on him and do ground and pound, but for some reason he kicks you off, he does an up kick, right? And you're like, fair enough, I'll get him next time, I'll just change my timing up around, you know, I'll just wait a few seconds before I dive on him to create that good timing, right? So you knock him down again, you wait that odd second, you try dive and he kicks you off, and now you're thinking, wow, this guy's got some really good timing to that up kick. He's, you know, he's reading my mind. And, you know, it turns out you were wrong. It turns out this Khamzat player is using an exploit where he's holding down the left bumper on his controller and he's spamming the kick button. Usually when you spam the kick button, you would see Khamzat kicking thin air, you know, and that will give you an opportunity to dive on straight after, but no. As long as you hold down the left bumper and you spam the kick button, you won't throw a kick until DDP dives. So essentially, no one can ever dive on you. As long as it's a stage 1 knockdown, or sorry, I think it's called a stage 2, where you're awake, you've just been knocked down, you'll be able to kick your opponent off every single time. Guys, I think it's about time EA Sports fix this exploit, because, you know, it just takes away from the skill of timing that up kick.
Alright.
Even I'm Khamzat, I'm just
yeah, I've never gone through that exploit though, but all in all, guys, if you made it this far in the video, I ain't gotta tell you to, you know, to like the video, subscribe. It's your boy Fetti, and I'm out.